Hello, everyone. Welcome to Magical Monday with my wonderful friends, SunPsychic Jean and Spirit Whisperer Mark. How are you doing today? Jean, you look like you're in a new environment. Tell us what's going on.
I am. I'm getting all of your notifications right in front of me. I'm on my phone and I'm on location. For Mother's Day, I came to visit my mom and I didn't want to miss the show. So I set up on my phone at my mom's house.
That's admirable. And everything looks great. And Mark and I were just saying how much we admire you for doing this because, at least for me, I know some people do it all the time, but I think it's extra challenging doing this on the phone.
I
So you
don't
get
have
extra
any of my
points.
crystals with me. I don't have anything. So this is the debut experiment. So thank you everybody for your patience and for support, and for Mark and Joan supporting me. And my inspiration is Suzuki. She did this from many different. She did it from Greece and she did it from Hawaii, and it's amazing. She balanced her cell phone on her knees and did the whole show.
We've got so much to learn from that woman. And Mark, what's up with you? How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I did some readings earlier for the animals with Debbie, and I've been kind of tuning in and out of the trial a little bit, listen here and there about how that's going, and then that always makes me want to read on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the outcome. What's the outcome? What's the outcome? But that's all today I've been doing.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
been doing that secondhand through listening to other people's readings on it. I don't even want to see it in person yet. But
And how about
hello
you, Joan?
everyone who's come. Ness and Anne, Amanda, Stephanie, Katie, Sean, Randy, Kathy G, Viviani, Paula, Jen, Gina, and Karen Robinson. I haven't seen you in a while. So glad to have everybody here. And please do, let's do have, please put your questions in and we'll see what get to. Oh, here's G. Covington. Wonderful. I'm just so excited to be here and read for everybody. It's been a while for me. I've been off doing other things. I took a break and went on a week vacation with my niece, and that was really fun. We had a good time, but it's good to be back. The only sad thing was I missed most of lilac season, but there's at least this many left, and they smell
Wow.
just wonderful. I wish we had smell-o-vision so you could have that, but I
Yes.
used to, have them all over the house. But I'll take the vacation over all the lilacs. But
Yeah.
So lilac
anyhow,
season is only 1 week to 10 days?
It's
this
quick.
year it was, yeah.
Yeah, because I
And
have a lilac tree out front, but it goes so fast. Oh, it went so fast. But yeah, they're beautiful.
yeah, and I had a crabapple tree that was just starting to bloom when I left, and it's all gone now. But still, that's just fine. Okay.
So I had a friend of mine contact me, and so a lady I used to work with, and when we were working together, she was having her first child, and I was, when you're working together and you see each other every day, you're kind of like really involved with everything. So she told me that her due date for her first child was in January, and I said, I thought I'm thinking the end of December. And she said, let me just get past Christmas, and then anytime after that is fine. So she wasn't sure. And then she went in, had her first child at the end of December, after Christmas and before her due date in January. So she said, she called me the other day. She said, I'm pregnant with my second child. Today is my due date. And I haven't gone. Like, she went so early with her first one, she's never experienced what it's like to go past her due date. And she said, Jean, you were right with my last one. Can you please tell me when I'm good? I'm like, I can't tell you. Let me get my pendulum. Oh, I forgot my pendulum. And so I swung my pendulum, and it said not tonight, but tomorrow. So and I didn't know, and I said, well, if not tomorrow, then definitely by Mother's Day, because it was Friday we were talking. And my pendulum kind of went a little bit around for Saturday, but on Sunday it was going really fast. And so she texted me on Mother's Day and said, Jean, I have to tell you, I had my baby last night. She's here. You were right.
Yay, 2 out of 2. And on
Nope.
Mother's Day, isn't that wonderful?
Nobody was more shocked than I was. I mean, I try my pendulum. It's amazing. It's really just so amazing when I get those ballads. And babies are one of the hardest things to predict, but it's just so beautiful when it works out.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful. Let me just grab my pendulum 1 second.
Sure. Take your time.
Pendulum.
Yeah. And I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day yesterday, or maybe got out go for a walk in the nice spring sunshine if you had that. Okay. And Anne, yes, I do have yours. Well, in fact, you're going to be our first one as soon as Jean gets back. Oh, and I'll have to remind everyone, I haven't hosted one of these in a very long time. And Jean, who usually, if she's on her computer at home, can kind of also read things and help me out. But it might be a little bit of a rocky ride. But I'm going to do my best. Hold on.
You'll do fine, Joan. I just can't.
Okay. Grab a necklace or something.
I know.
You can't find your pendulum?
No.
Look, I was just thinking about the outcome of the trial, and this card fell out, the judgment card. I love the way the cards do that kind of thing.
Okay, cool deck. I have yours. Okay.
I'm getting something. It's just there's so many things to choose from.
Uh-oh. Necklace.
I have something.
Oh, look
There.
at that. Pretty.
Ooh, that'll work.
Yeah. It looks like it has the stone in the middle of the silver. Oh, yeah. Ooh, pretty.
Beautiful. Very nice. All right. Let's start in. Our first question is from Ness saying, I'm having a substantial astrological event happening in May this year. What is your read on how May will unfold for me? Maybe she has events. Oh, here, that's how we do this.
May.
Yeah.
May. We're
Okay,
already
May for Ness.
Well, first of all, May is really big for a lot of us, and it's a lot of grounding and a lot of sort of it's not a restart, but it's like a shoring up of your balance to continue moving forward. It's almost like, how when you're in a race car and they do a pit stop and they take off the tires and they change the oil and they fill up all the fuel and stuff. Well, that's what May is. It's like a grounding, refueling, and getting, up and running again is what I feel for you, Ness, and a lot of us as well. But it's a beautiful earthing time too, a grounding for Mother Earth and Mother Gaia, and to connect to those types of energies. How about you, Mark?
I just feel like that May is a time when, of course, we're already at like May, 13th, that it's a time when we're all still watching the world a little bit, watching to see how things are going to fall and come into place. This is the Two of Wands, but he's got the globe in his hand. And just, so there's some, what's that called? Observer energy going on. Because still in all, in May, there's still so much energy about Donald Trump, like in the air and everything. As much as we don't want there to be, there still is. And so I think that's what we're kind of looking at. And this is upside down King of Pentacles. So a lot of times when I would read on him, he would be like the King of Pentacles, but this is like sort of the downfall, I think, in a way. And then if I didn't get it from that, then I also drew the Death card. So like the death of an old regime in the beginning of something new. So then when we look at you, Ness, it's still that same message of, oh yeah, King of Pentacles reverse means great for you. So it's still kind of that same message, which that stuff that's no longer serviceable to us is falling away or being pulled away. And that's good news. And it also makes me feel like the energy will shift again as May ends. As we get to May, that's that new beginning, that end of one energy and the beginning of a new one for this Death card. I don't think that has anything to do with you personally, other than energy shift.
Yeah, and when I tuned in, I saw you on a big wave, and you were on a surfboard on this big wave. But you know how the wave comes up and you're supposed to be surfing down here? You were way up on top of the curl, and you had to be like really, really careful. But you were doing it, you were staying right there as that wave moved. And then when it got closer to shore, it turned into just, it didn't crash down, it turned into just a more gentle wave, and then you just gently rode that to the shoreline. So it might be a period of having to be in balance and being really careful, but it's all going to work out. And I drew a couple cards and got the osprey, which is a fish eagle. He's all about the water, but it says your success is now at hand. Allow abundance to flow to you effortlessly. So the whole water thing of, it's just a change, but just to kind of stay in balance. And then I got the Archangel Cassiel, who says in the middle of the space, fear, and rise. And again, we see the yin yang symbol on her abdomen there of just that feeling of balance. It might be a period where you feel out of balance, but just as you guys were saying, kind of ground yourself, stay in balance, don't let things shove you off course. So I hope that was helpful for you. It was fun. And she said, yeah, balance makes sense. And how do I do this? Yes. And right. Cool. All right. So thank you for that question. Next up is Anne, who said, question, when I close my eyes, I see yellow and purple pink light. It looks like little pink people as pink. I don't know what it means. So you close your eyes and you see yellow and pink. So you see the colors, purple, yellow, and pink, and it kind of looks like people as pink. Let's see what we can figure out. What is Anne seeing?
Well, I feel like you're seeing it with your third eye, that for sure. What is it?
I just feel like you're just kind of opening up, and that those colors, the yellow, third chakra, self-confidence, the purple is higher chakras, really connection, vision, third eye, and crown chakra, and pink is love to me. So these are all good things, happy, gentle colors that are coming to kind of awaken you and say, we're sending you it. I don't think it's a specific message other than we're here and we're helping you gently open up. Let's see if there's a card to go with that. That one. I got the magpie saying, reevaluate your priorities. It's time to let go of what you no longer need. So maybe this is sort of a an invitation to kind of clear the clutter and focus on these gentle energies that are coming your way to open up. What do you think, Jean?
Oh, I agree with you, Joan. I think it's the beginning of your awareness and your third eye opening. And it sounds a lot like auric field or maybe auras, like people's auras. And a lot of times you can have a sensation of a person with a color. And that has a lot to do with like their energetic body. So I would maybe do a little bit more practice work or repeated work and see how it develops. But take your time and understand that these things are the development of your third eye intuition. And you don't always have to see what the colors turn into. You can look at the colors and then just get like a knowing, or you can get like an idea of an elephant, or like the word elephant might come by or something. But you don't have to actually, when you see the yellow and the pink, you don't have to try and make out yellow and pink. That carries information, so you can always just get yellow and pink and then get the information that comes with it. The yellow and pink doesn't have to solidify, in other words. So but be open to all your different clairs. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, it is. It does seem like it's coming through the third eye, like an actual tuning in to energy and seeing it, but it's not as clear. Also, the fact that it just happens when you close your eyes is a little something funny. Here's something I'm going to ask you, Anne. And I know it's personal. You don't even have to answer me. Are you on medication of some kind? This sounds weird. I tried to avoid it, but it just kept coming up. But I don't know. I get the feeling because of the stuff we're going through, No, you're not. Well, that's good to know, because it almost felt like lower some or lower a dose or something a little bit. Because with this energy coming in, it was almost becoming a little too much or something, a little bit too much. I might be way off too today, but it feels like extraterrestrial energy to me somehow. At first I thought it was probably an earth energy, but no, I don't think so. It feels kind of extraterrestrial for some reason. And I think it can get clearer if you ask for it to. Well, that's all I'm picking up, really. I get the World card. I don't know, which is kind of talking to me about the extraterrestrial energy again. I don't know if you have any special interest in that or anything like that, but it feels sort of like messages and you're picking up on them. Like transmissions, like that kind of energy. And I think they might get clearer.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up a pendulum and just start asking them questions.
Right.
Anyhow, thank you, Anne, for that intriguing question. Let's see.
I don't know why they were asking me about medication. That was weird. Okay.
So next up is Stephanie Checo. Hi, everyone. What's coming up next for me? Thank you very much. We'll see what we can get for you, Stephanie. And you're very welcome, Anne. Okay.
So, Stephanie, aren't you on the mend? Or I think the last time you had a question with us, you were trying to recover from an injury before going back to work at the casino. Is that correct? I hope you're still going back there. Are you wondering how the recovery is going? Is there
That's her.
Maybe there's something more specific.
She said, yes, that's her.
Okay. So, how's Stephanie's recovery going? What's going to happen with Stephanie? What is in her future? Patience and self care, Stephanie. You're empathetic, you're empathic, and you're always like not necessarily, take this with a grain of salt, it's just the only term I have, but sometimes people can be like a people pleaser, like you always want to do things for other people, but this is your time to have self care, put yourself first, and almost slow down. And sometimes they do this because of the timing, like the divine timing, and sometimes it has to do with our awareness of our, like, come back into your own body and be familiar with your own body and take care of your own body. And then when you go back out there, you'll have more um, like presence to help other people instead of giving yourself away. And I'm saying that like from experience. So please take that with a grain of salt. I mean that in the sweetest way, because you are very kind and very capable. So, but that's what I'm getting.
And that kind of jives with what I was saying, or seeing. When I tuned into you, Stephanie, I saw you. You kind of look like that girl who was on that '70s show. Who I forget what her character name is. I forget what her name was, but she's really cute. And she's you, and you're at a roller garden, and you're wearing, or you're doing that thing around the oval, roller skating. But you're not just kind of going along to the music. You're doing it. It almost looks like the figure skating moves, where you're doing the arabesque, kind of like putting one hand out and the other out. It looks like you're doing ballet on roller skates, and the one, the leg is out, and then when you put this hand out, you're keeping your eye on this, and it goes really, really high, and you're watching the hand as it goes up. And this is all very deliberate, like you're learning how to make all these things like a dancer, just practicing very deliberate, slow, graceful movements, and are just like, yes, I can do this. And you're making it look great. You're well supported. You're not on ice skates, you're on roller skates. So you've got 8 wheels supporting you. You're well supported in this endeavor. You're up to it. Just take your time, and you'll feel like whatever this period is, you're going through it like a dancer. You're paying real close attention to every movement, and you're keeping your eyes on the prize, kind of keeping your head up. So I hope that makes sense. But I also drew some cards. I got one, the Archangel of Clarity, who says rest, reflect, and recharge, which is probably good news. And then I got the goose, who said, your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. So it's sort of you rest, and now it's time to kind of move forward and take some action, but to do it in your own time, at your own speed, being very deliberate and looking good all the time you're doing it. So, what about you, Mark? What did you get?
Yeah. Hi, Stephanie. I think you're new to me, I believe. Um, you look really young in that picture, if that's you. Uh, do you have kids? I think no. But do you have a pet? I'm just asking if you have a pet at home. So I didn't really know what was going on. But so the cards just seem to want to say what's coming next, which is what you ask. What's coming next is that you make a triumphant return from your setback, your illness, whatever it was that you've been going through. So this is the Six of Wands. That's like that ticker tape parade card. It's a triumphant return. So you make a good progress. Then you even return back to work if you were working. Here's the Queen of Pentacles, but you're back out there in the work world. So that's like talking more about the recovery, being a good recovery. And then when you say what's coming next for me, yeah, great. I was just reading her comment. Um, it's the ultimate. It's a good thing coming future. It's the Sun card.
Wow.
So a little happy on a bed of flowers. So, you know, the cards are really trying to tell you your recovery is going to be really good. And it feels like it's going to move a little faster than you might think. I think you're going to recover even more. Um, I was only asking about if you had a cat or something, because when I was looking at this triumphant return card, um, I normally wouldn't even care, but there's these little faces here in the bottom of this card. See that little? There's a little one down there. There's a little one there. So all of a sudden, oh, I have a cat. Yeah. Okay. So you know, I can't let it go. I'm like a dog with a bone. It's like she better tell me she has a cat because like this cat thing, because I see this little cat. So, and the reason why, because normally I probably wouldn't even noticed it. These are new cards too, so it's the first time I ever saw those. But because the little cat wanted to say, I'm also participating in the healing,
Oh,
Stephanie,
sweet.
and is working with you because I felt like at home. You know, she's there participating in this triumphant return. So energetically, like a lot of times, our cats and dogs are little healers. She says she is. Oh, I love her. Yeah, that's very sweet. So she had to raise her little head. She must have said, there's Mark and Pan doing reason day. You better call me out in this reading. Anyway, she wouldn't let that go. Anyway, that's good. And it sounds great about your recovery too.
That's
That's
amazing,
wonderful.
Mark. Wow, that is so
Team
cool.
effort.
Yeah.
That is so
Cool.
cool. Oh my gosh, Stephanie, that was one of the best readings I ever saw Mark give.
What about the cat? What about the cat?
uh,
Oh, that's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And more time with her because she's always in the
She wanted to
backyard.
make herself known, though. That was very interesting how that all worked in my brain, you know, in the car.
That's beautiful.
That's the fun of the readings, really.
Good for you,
Really?
Stephanie.
Yeah. We wish you the very best. Hey, Randy has asked for a collective read, but let's save that for the end. How about that?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to move on to G. Covington, who just started a new job. I feel I went from one frying pan to another. Oh no, I'm surrounded by snakes. Any advice? Oh dear. I'm so sorry to hear this. Okay.
You're welcome, sweetie. Let's see. Hi, Melody from Oz.
Well, you can recognize it now. Nobody's going to pull the wool over your eyes. You're not going to allow them to allow the situation to get out of hand. You're going to remedy it. You're either going to change it or leave it, and or not tolerate it. You know, but make sure you practice your boundaries and set your standards and um, your parameters. Um, yeah, and it's a. I think, you know, I think it's a way for us to just tune up our awareness of these things. And I've had this issue. I went from one crazy boss to the next crazy boss, and I thought, how do I mean, there's a million places you can work. They can't all have crazy bosses, you know, and yeah, so but you will break the cycle. And I think that because you were interviewing and you know, working on changing your position so hard, you may be able to get back out there, or somebody may be able to call you back that is a better situation. But the faster you move to tell yourself and energetically start putting yourself back out there again, I think the faster um, the energy will, the new job, the better job will come um, into reality because of the divine timing as well. But I'm sorry, so sorry that happened to you, G. Covington, and not every place is like that.
Yeah. When I tuned into you, G. Covington, I saw you as sort of like a cross between a fairy and a butterfly. You had like the big butterfly wings, but it was like a fairy's body. And they were drawing my attention to these swirly little antennae that were out there. So, and I think the message is, yeah, put your feelers out, and you're already doing that. You're kind of sensing the situation. But even though this little butterfly fairy thing that I was seeing looked really fragile, butterflies migrate over 1,000 miles, or thousands and thousands of miles, with just those tiny little wings. And by reading the air currents and being sensitive to their surroundings, they can do amazing things. And even though this might not be the optimal situation, you are sensitive enough to read the room and read the energy, and strong enough to get through it, even though you might sometimes not feel like it. Or if you look in the mirror, it's like, I'm just one person. Do I have to do this again? But you can do it. And think of the monarchs. I drew cards for you and got the Archangel of Faith. Have faith in yourself. And it said, lead with confidence. So go in there. You don't have to go in there with guns ablazing, but be confident that you can do exactly what Jean said. Either, sense the situation, do what you can to make it better, but then it's like, this is not going to change. I'm not going to put myself through this. You're better than this, and there's a place for you. So I think I wish I could tell you, yes, leave now, or stay. It's going to be okay. But I think this is a learning opportunity, and it's a more finely tuned learning opportunity because you've learned so much already. It's like you've learned the lessons. Now this is like the last time you're going to have to practice them, put them into action, and then smooth sailing. How about you, Mark?
G. Covington, I think it was like a bad first impression. They weren't really on their best. They didn't put their best foot forward when you first started. I also think you went in there a little nervous and a little on the defensive a little bit. So you get this Nine of Swords. So like a little nervous about, is this going to be any better? Is it going to be worse? Is it just the same old thing? But it's a little bit about timing. And I keep getting, they really didn't put their best foot forward. There was like, you kind of came in at a really lot of energy time, a lot of back and forth, a lot of stuff happening in the office or whatever. So they're kind of talking about the time a little bit. But I keep hearing that this might flip, and that there is something good for you there. It's a little bit like, I get two cards with scales on them. The one is the Six of Pentacles, and the other one is Justice. And it makes me feel like that there is something good for you, and that the universe had your back on it. And it's just not, you're not seeing it quite yet. So these two scales, there was this fear that you were just going to trade one thing equally for another in this justice card. But the other one's a little higher than the other. And I think this job is a step up as far as from where you went. And I also think that energy about a boss or whatever is going to settle down. I also got the Page of Swords and the King of Swords. Almost like it's kind of whispering to me that you might end up getting along with the boss. Even though it might seem like no, it looks like there could be something that connects this page, being you. Swords is kind of like a mental connection or seeing things the same way a little bit. And the King of Swords would, in this case, I think is the boss, and you're the page, the newbie coming in. But it looks like you guys might find something in common, or maybe this boss begins to like you or what you're doing. So don't give up hope. And the final outcome was Wheel of Fortune. So again, it makes me think that things might be turning. And so, don't give up hope. At the same time, everything the girl said, if it just continues to be, you're not limited to this choice. Go ahead and re-choose again. So I wouldn't just hang in there forever because Mark got the Wheel of Fortune. But I do think there's a potential for it being a little better than it appears right now. Anyway.
Hey, I want to interrupt the show for a message from Sharon Sipe, who's had 2 family members in bad health. One's passed and one's now in hospice. And if we can just all send some healing to Sharon. I've recently been in these situations, and it really helps to know that people are sending good energy and thinking of you. We just wish you the very best through this time. And
absolutely, Sharon Sipe.
Yeah, take care, honey. And thanks for all you do.
Yes, and
be sure to take care of yourself first, okay?
So supportive even during that kind of time.
Yeah, really. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry it's taking me so long. Okay.
So G. Covington, I was also seeing somewhere around August, you'll know more. Things will become clear, and you'll have clarity by August. So give it some time and get the lay of the land. But you're gonna be just fine, G. Covington.
Yeah, let us know as things progress.
Yeah, I'd love to know too.
Next up, Kathy G. It was my 67th birthday yesterday.
Aww,
I have a reading for the few months. Happy birthday. 67 is a good year. That's where I am too. I think. After a while, you kind of forget.
I know.
You had so many of them.
Dangerously close to that number too. You want to forget anyway.
So what was the end of the question? Yesterday was the birthday end.
Could I have a reading for the first few months of this year of hers? For probably the next few months.
What sign is that? Is that Taurus? What is? I don't know.
May is Taurus.
Okay.
Because today is my brother's birthday. He's a Taurus.
Kathy G. What am I getting here?
I see flow, I see ease, I see almost like a magical sense of timing, like things just sort of work out for you. And I'm saying it like it's beyond your expectations. It's almost better than you imagined, or you're delighted with the surprises and the events that come up. I do feel some sort of an easement coming up. I'm not sure if you just recently retired, but there's some ability to ease up. There's some ease in this year, in these next couple of months here. I'm not sure. Maybe you're going to a house at the mountains, or a house at the beach, or vacation at a family member. Something is going to I see flow, I see ease, and I see whatever you may have been struggling against earlier this year has released itself. And I feel like there's a little bit more of a smooth sailing moving forward. I don't see any bumps for you. And I just see you almost not even sweating the small stuff. You are taking things in stride, so to speak. So that's what I'm picking up for you, Kathy G.
Kathy says she's disabled. Well, what I saw, Kathy, was, and it was funny that you said blue and ease, but we had been talking about Taurus, and I thought, oh dear, is this why I'm seeing this? But I closed my eyes and I saw Paul Bunyan taking Babe the Blue Ox by its horns and swinging it around in a circle and throwing him off somewhere. And I thought, what on earth does this mean? But it came to me that this is, Babe the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan are supposed to be a team. And it was really easy for him to do all the ease Jean was talking about. And it was like start setting a new course, doing something. Okay, we have been following along this path. And now he's just taking this big thing, swinging it around and going in a different direction. It wasn't like the ox was being bad or anything. We're going in a new direction. And let's see, change in direction, things that should be hard are going to come to you more easily, because it just looks like so easy that he was doing this, and setting a new course. And then when I drew a card for you, I got the Archangel Michael, who's saying step into empowerment. So no matter what your condition is or disability that you refer to, there's a period of strength and empowerment and a sense of change that might be coming to you. And I think it's a positive change.
Yeah.
How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I kind of feel that same thing that both of these guys are saying. And I know, you're disabled and you're 67. Congratulations on being 67. I got interesting cards for you, though. So, well, here's the big message. I got quite a few wands in here. That even though sometimes at 67 we think, oh, I'm winding down, but no, they're saying this is like, in a way, a new beginning for you at 67, and it feels like there's a new opportunity coming your way. You might say, well, how? I don't know what. It might be through the computer, but so I got the Two of Wands, which is looking to see how you fit in the world. A lot of times it's called the entrepreneurial card, or doing something new. But it's also moving out. Wands for me always means spirit body. So it's a spiritual calling. And you also get the Ace of Wands, which Spirit's telling me a new relationship, a deeper relationship with Source, a more personal one-on-one relationship, like these two wands, two as one. So you got one wand and two wands. Spirit. So that's part of what they're talking about. But I think keep your options open, because the universe is going to send you this little loving opportunity, like it's the Page of Chalices, Page of Cups, a little surprise for you. Might think of it as a birthday gift. And then I also got Judgment. In this case, it's resurrection. Judgment is also the resurrection card. A lot of times when you see this in tarot, it has the bodies coming out of the graves. And this little cute panda raccoon is playing a little trumpet. But, it's a new beginning. It's a whole new start at your age. I can relate, because I similarly went through a big new start when I thought I was too old to live. Okay, and strength. So they stuck this in there with me because they wanted to remind you. Well, we're talking about your connection to the animal kingdom and your connection to spirit. Do you have a cat or something? I think you do, Kathy. But again, the pets are rearing their little heads because I'm doing the readings. Because strength doesn't always mean that, but for me, a lot of times it's talking about your relationship to nature. I think in this case, it's talking about your relationship to your pet. And they want to continue to say that's an important part of your progress because it helps you stay grounded. Anyway, Ace of Wands, new adventure coming. I think we all three said some kind of a new thing happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I just love it. I love the Paul Bunyan and grabbing the bull by the horns, right? And you were saying babe, but it was grabbing the bull by the horns, and not sweating the small stuff and having like a different sort of energy around you, Kathy. And sometimes we can't always control what happens around us, but we can control how we respond to it. And this may be just a new outlook or a new perspective on your part.
Oh, Max. Okay, yeah. Little Max.
Sounds good. Let's see. Let's try. Let's do Cool Duck. Is there a way for my partner, who's sitting right beside me, to receive a message from his late grandfather, Harold, who passed away 3 years ago. Do we need your partner's name, or should we just go through Cool Duck for that?
I would like to have her partner's name if she's here.
Yeah, Cool Duck, what's the
But Harold
partner's name?
Passed away grandfather.
Yeah. Okay, and I've asked for a couple other. Yeah, if you're asking about mediumship, it would be nice to know the name of the person on the other side and the name most closely
Leon.
related to it.
Okay, her husband's name is Leon.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you're finding that. Just sorry. Here we go. So it's Leon and Harold. Got it. Thank you so much. So let's see what we can do.
There's a lot of energies in the waiting room, so it helps if you guys give us the name so that we don't confuse them with somebody else waiting. Okay.
I do see him on a balcony. I do see him on a, he's like overlooking a balcony. I'm not sure if he had an apartment that had a balcony, or if he was very much interested in the theater, or if he visited the theater, enjoyed music at the theater. I do see him in a balcony. I asked him to step forward, and I usually see them in like a stadium type of seating, but he came forward and there was like a balcony coming, that he was up in the balcony. So maybe he was the upper echelon, always in the balcony, or if he was sort of like in the wings, in the curtains, behind the scenes, sort of, perhaps trying to make sense of why he's coming forward like this. But typically it's meaningful. He is watching over everybody, and he is sort of standing, looking down over his people. And I could be picking up on a past life, but he just seems like he's higher and looking down over other people. Maybe this is the way he feels when he's in heaven and watching over the family. I do see much love, and him sending many blessings, and he may have even left some inheritance for everybody. I'm watching over how much everybody is enjoying that and is making the most of that. He almost has like there's some sort of a legacy that he is handing down, and he is leaving behind, and he is enjoying watching his legacy continue on. He seemed like a very prominent person, a very important person, a very honorable person, somebody of status, and he loved his family. I feel as though he left pretty quickly, though. I think he built himself a beautiful life, a beautiful family, and helped his friends, neighbors, and extended family. And then his life was cut short, I felt, he's telling me, and he was unable to appreciate or enjoy the fruits of his labor, or watching other people enjoy the benefits of his generosity. But he was very generous and creative and intuitive. I'm not sure, maybe he invented something. He has a legacy that he's handing down. He's very generous. He's sending love and blessings. And he was a hard worker. He may have, he's telling me all these different things. So he's coming through with information. It's just hard to try and figure it out. But he wants to have the microphone. He's like, let me talk. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop there because I don't know where this is going. Can you guys help me out? I'm not
I
sure. Uh-huh.
I've just gasped because of what Cool Duck said, that he carved wooden sticks. And the first thing I saw was just a stick of wood. I thought, like he was poking something. I didn't see him carving it. The stick then turned into like the trunk of a landscaping tree, like he was going to go out and plant a tree, but then it turned into a Christmas tree. So I was wondering if you went out and cut down Christmas trees together. And then I got this whole thing about he might have been more of a reserved, quiet person, but a big heart underneath it all. And he really liked, even though he might not have been effusive and a big hugger, oh, come here, come here, come here, he loved the family traditions. And whether that was cutting down Christmas trees or what, he just really loved, you know, the traditions families had at meeting for holidays, or this is how we do Christmas, or whatever. And he might have been one of those quiet grandfathers who just, you couldn't see it in his face, but he was just adoring seeing his kids and grandkids and the next generations coming up. A little bit, maybe a little bit, not, I don't want to say distance, just not all, kissy and in your face, but just oozing with pride and love. And when I got cards, I pulled cards. I got the Archangel Jeremiah, and it says signs, symbols, and synchronicities. So he may be sending you signs. And from the feathers deck, I got the Wren, bold, confident. Be bold and confident. Use all of your resources to create your dreams. But what I really think about the Wren is the bold and confident one. That this is a little tiny bird that will, scare away bigger birds and make a big, has a big voice and make himself heard, and is not deterred by not being the big eagle or something like that. Just strength in a small package. And maybe there's something either in his life or in his counsel to you to don't, speak up, be strong. He's telling you that through that little bird. So I hope that makes sense. But I love that he carved wooden sticks, because that's the first thing he showed me. Martin.
Cool. Cool.
And cool duck, if that's not your Harold, it may be the other grandfather or maybe one of your grandfathers. Or if there's somebody else in the chat, because this grandfather came through pretty loud and clear. But go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, that grandfather energy I am feeling too seems to be talking about, I don't know, his job seemed to have been important to him. I don't know what he did other than, carving sticks, but it feels like he is proud of his job, or he had a company, or it feels like something that continued after he left. Like, I don't know if Leon was supposed to step into those shoes or something about work. So either he's talking about his success, or he's also talking about Leon is a little worried about money and job. Might be that. He says, so I'm going along with the idea that he had this business or something that he was really proud of, unless you tell me he did not. But his message to you is he feels like, oh yes, he's extremely worried about money. Yeah, get that. He feels like, because they showed me this, the Four of Pentacles, when you're kind of hanging on to your pennies and counting them. Plus, the very first thing Grandpa said was, yeah, I know you're worried about money. And I feel like Grandpa was pretty good with it, or whatever. He says, though, since he's crossed over, here we go, Mark, just keep going. He's seen, in a way, he was too stuck in his ways a little bit, or he wants to say he was a little too stuck with what we might call patriarchal energy, a little too stuck in that. And he wishes he'd have been a little more in touch with the feminine side of life and nature, and a little more in touch, not quite as, now his carving and stuff would be that energy, the feminine energy, but he feels like he went along too much with what somebody told him rather than looking for himself. So it's sort of like going along with what you were taught when you grew up, even though it didn't really feel great or whatever, but that was all you knew. And since he crossed over, he sees that there were other choices. So the point of that is he's saying to you, Leon, that don't listen to what other people tell you you should and shouldn't do. Go within and follow your inner voice. He's telling you. Listen to within you, your connection to spirit. I don't know how you are about that. Gives me this hermit, but that's what he's talking about. So it's right next to the Hierophant. So the Hierophant would be like, the people that think they know everything. Hierophants are always, they could be like the Pope or somebody who says, you need me to tell you what God wants. He's going, no, you don't really need that middle person. You can just do it on your own and you know better. Don't focus on the fear and the worry. I know that's easier said than done, but he wants you to know you still have full cups right here behind you on the 5 of Cups. He thinks he was a little too empery, and he wished that he wasn't as much. He wishes he was a little bit more King of Cups energy. He would have liked that better, and he encourages you to include that in your endeavors. He relates to you quite a bit and feels really close to you, Lover's card. And again, he sees that you're worried about money. But he wants to say, you're not. Things are positive change is on its way. So he gives you the old carved stick, the Ace of Wands here. You want to make sure you include, I think, and then he give me the Ace of Wands. Here's my stick. But that's also a spirit again, spirit. So there's opportunity coming, but keep in tune with your connection to the higher self and to source. Know that if there is a God, it's on your side. Okay. And he wants you to remember that as you move forward. And then finally, is the outcome, Wheel of Fortune. I got this twice today, but the fortunes are turning. You're not, there's, oh no, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. No, they're turning. And we got it right side up. So we're turning to the, good fortune is a coming. So he wants you to know that. I think maybe he says that should make you feel better because I know about fortune and you've got good fortune coming. So don't, fear not. I feel like I never say fear not in my real life. So it's weird to say fear not. For I have spoken. No. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great. And thanks for that opportunity to read for him.
Yep. Leon. I liked him. His energy.
Yeah.
He seemed really strong. I'd love to know what he did for a living.
So let's check in. We're getting toward the end of the hour here. Let's check in with Lisa Niedermeyer. By my channeling writing, is it possible to manifest? Is it possible it manifests into a book? So I'm taking that as taking the channeling information that's coming to you and wondering if you can turn that into a book.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think a lot of books are channeled.
Yeah.
That's the creative portion. That's the creative, but your channeling, if it's coming from the source or universal type of guidance, secrets, or messages coming from the universe, that would be more of a spiritual book or a self-help book, or but even like murder mysteries, Agatha Christie, that's all. Anything that comes creatively is actually assisted by the spiritual realm and channeled.
Want to get up here? Come on. I know.
Yeah, definitely, Lisa. I see that it's a big possibility, and the more information out there, the better.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I asked, do the sources that you're channeling, do they want this published into the book? And I got yes. And I said, is this going to be published by a publishing house, or and it said no. Is it going to be independently published, either by you or by a small press or something like that? And it was more of a yes. So I think maybe not, a big New York publishing house, but either you can self-publish in a zillion different ways through Amazon or whatever, or sometimes there are organizations that will do that for you. But to that, this is Earth Joan speaking, not Spacey Joan. Be really careful with organizations that say, "Hey, we can do all of this for you," because what they'll do is they will do it for you, but it might sometimes they can be shady. I'll leave it at that. They'll take all your money and you might not get the best result. So just be real careful if you do decide to go that route. And as long as you're channeling, just ask your guides and sources to guide you to the right opportunities for this, because
Yeah.
they obviously want it done.
Yeah. I agree with that. Lisa, the idea in the first place was inspired by spirit. We get this stick again, but Ace of Wands, that's what inspired you. That was one of the things, but it was an inspiration, kind of inspired idea. And you've been following along as best you're able and doing a pretty good job. But yes, it can manage. So there's all the cups, all the chapters. It can become a big book that you're proud to see. All the chapters put together, and that's the 10 of Cups. You overthink and overworry things, and sometimes tie yourself up in knots wondering, what if I do all this and then it just becomes nothing? What if I'm just imagining that this is a good idea? Blah, 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 blah. What if I can never, I don't figure out how to publish? None of that helps anything, so stop. Easier said than done again. But you get justice. So, yeah, the outcome, when they gave you this inspiration, it was to have a good outcome, a good, just outcome. So that's the plan. Not only that, but you get the Knight of Cups as an outcome where you feel satisfied with the outcome. Now, I agree. It'll probably be more of a independent or whatever you call it publisher. I even think you might connect to somebody through like one of these chat rooms on one of these shows of other people who have published similar kind of sort of spiritual type books. So I feel like there's a helper or something that you might connect to on here. So don't be shy about asking if anybody knows anything about that as you get closer and closer. But I feel like that's the plan, and that's what we're going to do as far as spirit is concerned. It hasn't given
Sounds
up.
good.
Yeah.
And spend the time on the content. Don't get too tied up in the publication part, because after it's published, and I say this from experience, you look back and I thought, if I would have just spent a little more time refining this or that, you don't want to have that kind of feeling.
Right.
So enough of my
because the publishing will probably take care of itself once it's time.
Right.
If you've put all your energy into your writing and everything, the universe is going to help you put it out there.
Yeah.
So I agree. Focus on the content.
So is Cool Duck still in the chat? And is Leon? Did Leon inherit money from or business from the grandfather that he's worried about messing something up? I'm still curious. There's an unfinished business there. Is Cool Duck still around? Can you just say hi and let us know if he inherited anything from his grandfather? Only because he's saying that, don't worry about the money. Money is just an energetic way of manifesting and learning a lesson. Like if you were to have inherited money or were to have come into some money or make some money and then invested, or your business went under or something and you lost it all, it's no reflection on you. It's what lesson did you learn from that? How did it make you feel, and the people that you worked with? What would you do differently? And what's most important to you now that after all of that loss happened? Where would you pick up and what would you do differently? It's all a lesson. It's not a judgment. Nobody judges you for what you gained and what you lost. It's an energetic means of learning and developing and expanding. And your grandfather is not looking down on you or judging you at all. He only wants the best for you. And if learning a lesson and learning a lesson the tough way is not easy, but you'll always pick it up. And your character, like Mark said, you have a very strong character. You can pick yourself up and make it your own and start over the way that you want to start over. Trust yourself, trust your own decisions. Maybe you believe somebody else. Maybe you tried to go into business with somebody, but don't judge yourself on losing money. Money is only an energetic source that for an exchange of energy, and it has nothing to do with you, your integrity, or your honor, or your character. And when you learn that a lesson through money, it's hard, but try not to allow that to reflect your own identity. It's not your identity. Your heart and your soul is your identity. You can always pick up and start over again. There's always another day.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Gene, I kept feeling that exact same thing about it. Felt so much like it was he stepped into his grandfather's shoes or continued the business or something like that. I just kept getting that the whole time. Just like you, I kept wanting to say, did you inherit the business or something like that? So that's in the ethers because it keeps going in my brain too at the same time.
Yeah, his grandfather wants to know there's no judgment. There's no disappointment. There's only love.
That's beautiful. Well, let's do what we promised in the beginning and do a collective reading for this group. Thanks for asking, Randy.
Okay.
So let's see what we can come up with for this wonderful group of souls that are gathered here today. And those who are listening later or lurking now.
Overthinking is a hobby. Yeah, Lisa. And like sometimes I giggle, but that's because I relate. I'm not really laughing that you're overthinking. It's because I know all about overthinking.
Oh, yeah.
And how that can trip you up. You know what I mean? She says she gets the overthinking in every reading.
I would say be kind and gentle to yourself. I would say give yourself the benefit of the doubt and don't sweat the small stuff. It's really easy to be judgmental and hyper vigilant and self-sabotaging and self-examining. It's really a time for us to be as pampering and as gentle with ourselves as we possibly can, because it's peace, balance, calmness is strength. And the more gentle we can be with ourselves, the more patient we can be with ourselves, the more we can extend that out to others, and it'll reflect in our environment around us. It's a really important time for self-care.
Yeah. It's funny. I think one of the first readings I did, I saw somebody on a surfboard on a big wave. And the last one, I'm seeing somebody on a surfboard on a big wave, but he's lying down and smiling and enjoying the ride. But it's like, this is not the time to risk getting up even on one knee or whatever. It's kind of know your limits and and when things calm down a little bit, then you can get up. Maybe you'll be closer to shore. It's not going to crash on you so much. But now is the time to kind of hang on and enjoy the ride and feel, do what you can to keep yourself in balance, feel secure, so that you can enjoy it and not put yourself out there so much that you're just, um, anything could happen, and just to kind of be a little protective. And it's funny too, because when I pulled a card for myself before I started, and it was this one, perspective, zoom out and relax. And that's
Ooh.
kind of what I needed today. And that's what I think the message is from, both with the surfboarding thing and with this card again. Just zoom out, see the big picture, and it's all going to be fine. And enjoy the ride. What did you get, Mark?
I feel like that this week it continues to be a little bit more about the big picture rather than the individual picture. I'm talking about the world picture, kind of. It seems to be a little bit more about that, where we're still continuing to, because even you're part of it, even if you don't like it or anything, it's still, it kind of is hanging over us, that whole thing. So a little bit more of that, but that's because of the light fighting to take its place where it needs to be. So we still, though, be paying attention to whistleblowers and bad girls. This is like trial, Stormy, supposed bad girl, and whistleblower, the other one. So there's still that going on. It's sort of like we have to settle that so we can move into the future. So I think that's going to be, it's sort of a little bit of a stand and watch, where you're just sort of, it's not, you don't feel bad or anything, but it's just sort of standing still while this is going on, like big picture. But they also want to say, so just keep your focus on love. The Ace of Cups here. That's what you want to keep your focus on. Even as you're watching any of this, if it tries to distract you or make you worry or fear, go back to love. Keep that as your focus, because that will lead us to the joyful outcome we're looking for, the Three of Chalices. It's usually ladies dancing in a circle. But, love, raising your cup, celebrating. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I'm sorry we didn't hear back from Melody Frazier, but she'd asked about a reading for her mom who just died recently. And we didn't get a name, but I wanted to send you our best, because this is your first Mother's Day without a mom, and that's always a rough one. So blessings to you and to everyone with or without a mother in spirit or in the body. And thank you all so much for coming. Thanks. Jean, where are you going to be next online?
I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I think I'll be on Saturday with Scott Scorpio on his channel.
Fun.
I think we're going to do like not a marathon, but a little bit of an extended reading together, because it always seems like we're just getting not warmed up, but just things are starting to roll and we have to go. So I said, let's try and have a little bit of it, especially on a Saturday. There's people that pop in and out, and we just want to try and make it a little bit longer. I know Mark runs on Saturdays all the time, and
right.
It's lovely. It's beautiful energy. And Mark and I are together once a month on a Saturday,
right.
and it's all different people, all different times. So
right.
It's a lot of fun.
And then a lot of times that'll happen too, as the energy keeps building, then more and more people keep putting questions in.
Right.
So when you get towards, well, we're ending and I just got 10 new questions, but I can't. Yeah, that. But, that might happen no matter how much time you spend, though.
Yeah.
Because it kind of always builds up there at the end. I always have to end saying, well, we didn't. Like today, I think David and I said, well, that was good. We still have 14 questions we didn't get to, but there's that. It's like, sorry, guys.
Saturdays are fun. Yeah. To try and be there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's up next for you, Mark?
I don't think I'm doing anything until Saturday. And then I'll do my regular 4:00 Saturday Ask Anything show.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think
thank
Scott, Scott and I are on earlier, I think around 1. So it'll be independent of Mark, and
Yeah.
you'll be able to have a really fun Saturday. And how about you, Joan? Who are you going to be next?
I don't know. Let's see. I'm probably next Monday back here
Okay.
with
Or
you
maybe
two, I
with,
hope.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're yeah, I'm still kind of getting things together a little bit, so I'm not reading quite so much. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. This was wonderful. I always really enjoy reading with you. And thank you to everybody who came and asked questions. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get to all of them, but we just enjoy you so much. And thanks so much. We'll see you later. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.